You're watching the K2 News Weekend Edition.
We begin this evening in Teton County, where authorities say they found a large marijuana growing operation in the basement of a home where a man was recently found dead. Good evening, Wyoming. I'm Taylor Wirtz.
And I'm David Furtado. Teton County Sheriff's officials say they believe 69-year-old Jeffrey Archer died of natural causes. 5 of Archer's dogs were also found dead, and a 6th was treated for dehydration. Investigators returned to the home after realizing it had a hidden basement, a wall of debris covering the entryway. Investigators say the marijuana operation had been abandoned for at least a year. Teton County Sergeant Todd Stanion says the operation appeared too big for just one person, but Archer never came up in previous investigations. Authorities are looking for any living relatives of Archer.
The Campbell County Board of Commissioners will be holding in-person interviews with candidates to fill a commission seat vacancy. The interviews are planned for Tuesday, December 4th, with the candidates presented by the Campbell County GOP Central Committee. Each candidate was requested to provide a copy of their resumes, a Campbell County appointed board application, and a letter of interest in serving as a Campbell County Commissioner. Additionally, the candidates were also requested to provide written responses to a series of 6 specific topics, including qualifications, teamwork, county commissioner's role. The interview process is open to the public and will also be televised by Gillette Public Access on Channel 192. And a bill that would levy a 5% lodging tax in Wyoming has won the endorsement of a legislative panel. The bill, endorsed Thursday by the Joint Revenue Committee, will be presented to the full legislature when it meets in January. Before approving the proposal, the committee wrestled with how to account for cities and counties that already levy a lodging tax. The concern was that the new statewide tax would impose too high of a tax burden. The panel decided the best solution was to delay part of the statewide tax in jurisdictions with lodging taxes until those local taxes expire. Under the proposal, 3% of the statewide tax will fund tourism promotion efforts. The other 2% of the tax will go to local governments.
And the University of Wyoming is among 19 colleges and universities in the nation that have been awarded grant money to address suicide prevention on campus. UW's Lifesaver Initiative Suicide Prevention Program received nearly $306,000 in grant money over a 3-year period. The grant was awarded through the Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Lifesavers Initiative Project Director Lena Newland says the grant will be used mainly to help prevent suicide and suicide attempts among UW students with mental health and substance use disorders. Newland says continued suicide prevention education is needed because Wyoming ranks 3rd nationally for individuals dying by suicide per capita. She says the program is expected to serve about 10,500 UW students, staff, and faculty over the next 3 years. And down in southwestern Wyoming, a holiday mobile pantry food distribution will be held Monday, December 3rd. The distribution from 3 to 5 p.m. is going to be being held by the Wyoming Food Bank of the Rockies and sponsor the Socrates Foundation, bringing enough food for 250 families, about 8,500 meals. The mobile pantry will be at the Lord Storehouse in Evanston. And Natrona County High School students got a taste of the gig life when Jazz Verbs program Sunday evening, The select few students jammed in front of the crowd at the Gaslight Social. The Jazz Verbs program teaches kids what it's like to play in professional settings outside of a concert format.
It's a program to kind of introduce high school students to the kind of real world of being a musician.
People graduate out every year, and it's so at the beginning we had, like a really amazing trumpet player, and it's just kind of like shifted, and our style shifts with it.
Well, another guest conductor and another exploration of love for the Wyoming Symphony. This edition, the love of nature. K2's Ryan Berger has your Wyoming Symphony concert report.
Many different types of love have been explored by the Wyoming Symphony this concert season. Each concert a canvas for a guest conductor to work on, adding their own creative twists. Thomas Heuser strikes up the band for the symphony in both Idaho Falls and San Juan. With command of Wyoming Symphony for a week in Casper, he's chosen to explore the love of nature.
The flowing water and the raging river, and that's very descriptive. So whenever there's these naturalistic themes, composers use the instruments in a way to try to paint that picture.
Heuser says that the choice to focus on nature was deliberate, citing the perfect marriage for the region of Wyoming.
Obviously, because of the surroundings that we find ourselves in. Here in central Wyoming, it's a place where everyone is really in love with the out-of-doors.
The selections of music tonight include Dvorak and Sibelius, powerful, sweeping melodies that can evoke feelings of the most powerful thunderstorm, as well as the winding rivers through a European countryside.
The sound of a thunderstorm, out of the raging strings, the blazing trombones, this particular sound inspired generations of composers.
There are as many types of love as there are notes on a page, and Heuser says that the love of nature is one of the most provocative.
And the pieces of music that take on that theme are incredibly beautiful and important to the history of music, so it was an easy way to put together a series of pieces on a concert.
Joining Heuser on stage was Hollywood violinist Tim Fain, who is often heard and not seen in movies like Black Swan and 12 Years a Slave, where the solo violin is a character itself. Heuser says he's the one man in classical music who can get away with wearing tennis shoes on stage. Should Heuser be asked back as music director, he already has scores of music circled as ones he wants to bring to Wyoming.
Well, it would be an honor to be the music director, and I have all kinds of ideas about the direction to take the programming. I think it needs to have even more of a blend of the new and the old, the popular and the unfamiliar.
In Casper, Ryan Berger, K2 News.